Chat, I know you've been wanting to watch this. You've been wanting me to watch this, so we will. Because Rev just came out with this story about Sweet Baby 8. You guys wanted me to watch this. We are going to watch it. Let us see. We've already been witness to the Johnny Somali fuck around and find out. Let us see if Sweet Baby Inc. is also in their find out arc. This should be good.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So today we're going to be revisiting Sweet Baby, who's found themselves in another round of controversy. As many of you already know, over the past couple of months, Sweet Baby's doing everything in its power to rebrand their public image, trying to convince people.
Shadow Sparta, they already did revoke his passport. Johnny is on a travel ban. He can't leave Korea. He's fucked. He's looking at potentially 10 years in prison. Yay.
People that they're not interested in DEI or related agenda pushing. They are just a narrative consulting firm who wants to help make good stories.
Fuck, Rev, I'm sorry, I'm pausing you a lot. Incognito? Point of fact, Incognito and Alex. Point of fact, Death Battle actually did Pinkie Pie versus Deadpool. Because they're basically the same. You should watch it. It's fucking hilarious.
Now, this narrative has been pushed by yet another employee from Sweet Baby, and that push will backfire horribly, and on top of that, their claims will be greatly contradicted by a recent discovery made, a collaboration between Sweet Baby and another company that is trying to push a DEI agenda for Sweet Baby to a bigger audience and client base. So, as I said, over the past couple of weeks and really months, Sweet Baby's been doing a revamp, including with their website. They did a rebrand of the website, basically removing any mention of diversity, equity, or inclusion. It's a lot more basic in its language, focused more on the narrative consultation aspect.
Sparta, I don't think Sweet Baby Inc. is going to have a choice when it finally comes down to it. I really don't. I think Sweet Baby will go quietly into that good night, because I think if they try it when they go and they try to people are just gonna laugh and go, okay, anyway, moving on. They're going to try and when they finally go. Nobody's gonna listen to them. They're just gonna laugh and go, yeah, it serves right. Bye.
Of their organization. In fact, this was
their own company,
by a recent XOXO festival TED Talk that the CEO, Kim Belair, recently made, where she said, "We don't know why we are harassed by so many people. We're the victim of an unwarranted harassment campaign. All we are is just a humble narrative consultation firm who has no interest in pushing agenda."
Alright, let me see if I can do this accent. I'm probably going to do it terribly, so my apologies in advance. We are just a humble consulting agency. We are not the bad guys. That was my incredibly bad attempt at doing a Quebecois accent. It was horrible. I know. I apologize.
Now, that narrative has been recently pushed by another former Sweet Baby Inc. member here, Grant K. Roberts,
Alex, they've been trying to
push the narrative in a recent sit-down interview with The Gamer, saying that
they've been trying to blackmail companies. Don't forget, Black Myth Wukong basically told Sweet Baby Inc., suck my dick, get the fuck out of here. So they've been trying. Yeah, Incognito, I know. It was horrible. It was a horrible accident, hence why I apologize for it.
Former Sweet Baby Inc. member here, Grant K. Roberts, who has been trying to push the narrative in a recent sit-down interview with The Gamer, saying that Sweet Baby is misunderstood. They're the victim of a unwarranted harassment campaign, and all they wanted to do as a company was make better stories, and they had barely any impact on the ones they were involved with. Now, you might
Uh-huh.
recognize this individual before we get into the article because this tweet made a lot of rounds on social media back in February. So once the
Uh-huh.
connection was discovered between Sweet Baby and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, people were going through
Eh.
the related employees from Sweet Baby who had involvement with this game. And of course, Grant.
And by the way, all of these companies that are failing so hard or are being found out as having fucked up these game companies, like with Sweet Baby, fucking up games and making them some of the most hated pieces of digital entertainment, consistently using the same narrative. We're victims of a, I don't know why we've become victims of a harassment campaign. Every single one of them is using the victim of a harassment campaign excuse every fucking time. That is they just keep running with that excuse of saying they're being harassed, which is how you know it's bullshit, because people are just calling them out on their bullshit, and they are reclassifying it as harassment because they're being found out. But they're still using the same why over and over and over again. And now, if anybody uses an excuse of we're the victims of a harassment campaign, nobody believes it. And again, it's using words or phrases so much that they are losing all of their power. Because now, if someone legitimately becomes a victim of a harassment campaign that does not deserve it, if they say, I'm a victim of a harassment campaign, nobody's gonna believe it. Nobody will believe it. They'll go, bullshit. You're just saying that because you're getting called out on your shit. It's companies like this, it's people like this, they're taking these fucking words and basically grinding them into the ground so they no longer mean anything. Oh, and it's I'm a victim of a harassment campaign. You're racist. You're misogynist. You're a bigot. You're a see. It's taking all of these words and erasing the power that they once held. And so now, these words are more overused than fuck. Any of you guys remember the old Blues Black joke about how in New York the word fuck isn't a swear, it's a comma? These words have now supplanted fuck as being merely a comma. That's how common they've become. And that's why nobody takes any heed of them anymore.
Grant was one of those people, and people immediately started clowning on this post because, I mean, just look at it. He is smugly standing in front of a shelf of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League copies, which, ironically, it's like the biggest cell phone ever because, as it appears, it doesn't look like a single copy has been taken off of that shelf, and that kind of makes sense when you know how this all played out with this game. Right now, here we are only a few months after this live service game has dropped, barely making it into the 200 concurrent player mark right now. This game lost Warner Bros.
This game is
hundreds
done
of millions
before
of
its
dollars,
1 year
an
anniversary.
absolute slop fest that ironically a lot of people at Rocksteady kind of understood as a bad connection. Their connection with Sweet Baby was something they needed to start covering up once it was discovered, and this former developer at Rocksteady, Del Walker, made this post trying to downplay Sweet Baby's involvement with that game, saying that they came
Nobody
into
believes
the
this
script
either.
dialogue very late in the game, and the story was actually created by the same two people who did the story for Arkham City. And
no one believes this. Absolutely no one believes that the people that created the story for Arkham City and Arkham Knight did the story for Suicide Squad. Absolutely no one believes that. At all. Because while the story for Arkham City was fucking phenomenal, you can make the argument about whether or not Arkham Knight was a good game or not. I personally liked Arkham Knight. I thought it was a good game. I enjoyed it thoroughly. The story was still really fucking good. I still thought the story for Arkham Knight was good and was very enjoyable. You are not going to tell me that the story for Suicide Squad was 100% done by the same people that did Arkham City and Arkham Knight. Do not try and pull that bullshit with me, Del Walker. Don't fucking do it. 'Cause I don't believe you. Not at all. I think they did make a story. I'll say that I think that they did create the original story for Suicide Squad. Then you pulled in Sweet Baby Inc., and Sweet Baby Inc. said, oh, this won't do it all. We need to change everything. Everything. I guarantee that's what happened. Is yes, these two may have created the initial story, and then Sweet Baby Inc. came in and trashed it all.
And Knights. And yeah, there is your source, and now stop spreading misinformation, he says. Well, unfortunately for him, Grant is a bit of a yapper on social media, and he really likes to hype himself up in Sweet Baby. And in his own statement, his thread celebrating the release of this game.
Wait, I want to see the start of that. I joined Rocksteady in early 2019. By the time my family and I arrived in London from Seattle, the game's main story was already pretty much set. That's the reason why the credits say this, which I can't see what that is. When I was starting at Rocksteady, I joined a 3-person rating team as the lead. 2 of these 3 people are credited in the shipping game. 1 asked to be removed. Together, we cast most of the game and wrote nearly all the cutscenes over the next year. Wrote all the cutscenes. You mean the story? 'Cause that's where the story is. In Suicide Squad. It's in the cutscenes. The rest of the gameplay is just a fucking looter shooter. With practically no story. So yeah, you did write the story, fuckstick. By the end of 2019, we needed more writers to handle the other tens of thousands of lines of dialogue in the game. Really? So Kim and Meredith joined, completing a murderous row of writers and DC fans. They far outpaced my own comics knowledge, which you probably ignored entirely.
Sweet Baby. And in his own statement, his thread celebrating the release of this game, he says flat out that they got involved. Sweet Baby got involved with this game back in 2019. And then by the end of that year, they said they needed some more writers to handle some other lines of dialogue, tens of thousands of lines of dialogue. So they brought in Kim, the CEO, and another Sweet Baby employee, basically making it a majority Sweet Baby writing group for this game. So yeah, that didn't go over very well. And eventually, when he was getting mocked on social media, Grant would make this absolute gem of a tweet saying, the cool thing about liking video games is that you can go play video games instead of joining a weird cult and being wrong about everything.
But SBI is all about inclusion and acceptance, right? That's what Sweet Baby Inc. is all about. They're about inclusion and acceptance. And diversity. Oh yeah. Sure. Unless you don't follow them dogmatically. And bow down to their will. Then you're in a, quote, weird cult and you are wrong about everything. It's not even if you're the right demographic, Raven. It's about acquiescing to literally every demand they have. If you buck the trend even slightly, you are ostracized. They are the cult. Let's be frank. They are the cult. And if you do not bow down to them and submit yourself to them entirely, you're ostracized. And you are labeled as every istrophobe in the book.
Ah, yes. I can't believe gamers are so divisive and hostile. Yeah, this is very ironic seeing someone from Sweet Baby talking about a cult and being wrong about everything.
Wait, I want to see this. I should do these responses. The weird cult you joined tried horning in on our territory. We just wanted to play video games in peace. Lunar activist with the Sailor Moon. Nice. Weird Cult says the guy who feels morally obligated to have BLM and trans rights or human rights in their bio or else. Dude, we're trying, but there's this weird company that gets hired to make games unlikable. Yes, that's why we always avoid games that have ruined the writing by Sweet Baby Inc. Good thing God of War Ragnarok ain't one of them.
Everything, and as you can see, he got clowned on. But anyways, let's return to the latest news involving Grant and Sweet Baby. So he sat down for an interview with the gamer here, and here's the title saying, "With all eyes on Sweet Baby Inc., the devs are just getting on with their jobs." Yes, they're just getting on with their jobs as the CEO and former employees have been going essentially on a press tour the last couple of weeks and months to try to disavow any claims that they have a DEI-related agenda and that they're just this humble and narrative consultation firm trying to write good stories. But let's get into this. So here's what the article says. But job stability isn't the only force at play.
Alex, yes. I believe you are correct. I do believe Sweet Baby Inc. was involved with God of War Ragnarok. They claim to be. At this point, who fucking knows? But from what I've heard, I never played God of War Ragnarok. I've heard there were a couple of things that occurred in God of War Ragnarok, like a couple of specific points in the game where people point to it and say Sweet Baby Inc.'s fingerprints are all over that because of the nature of that like cutscene or that scene or something like that. So I think Sweet Baby Inc. did not have as much of a chokehold on the game like they did with Suicide Squad, but I do think that they have their fingerprints on some parts of that game. I've heard about several people that have like pointed and said, yeah, that's where they fuck with the game.
Play here, Grant Roberts recently spent 1.5 years working as a narrative director at Sweet Baby Inc., a consultation company that, like all consultation studios in games, largely went under the radar until earlier this year. Then, all of a sudden, it was everywhere. Then, out of thin air, people just started harassing these innocent people at Sweet Baby. I swear, we will never see a single person.
Okay. I'm pretty sure Sweet Baby Inc. has been in the news, like been blasted all over the news for, I want to say, over a year at this point. Didn't Sweet Baby Inc. come to light in a big way back in like, what, early 2023 or mid 2023? I'm reasonably sure it hasn't been only earlier this year that they exploded. Like, I want to say that this shit started back in 2023. This is not just like, oh, it's been like half a year. Yeah, mid 2023 sounds about right. Well, Alex, it got supercharged with the Sweet Baby Inc. detector because when I forget his name, but yeah, the guy from Brazil created the Steam group, Sweet Baby Inc. detector. And what supercharged it is that Sweet Baby Inc. Cabrutus. Thank you, Rabacid. When Cabrutus created his group, Sweet Baby Inc. actually started attacking him and tried to get Steam to cancel his account. So Sweet Baby Inc. was already in the spotlight at this point. People were already knowing that Sweet Baby Inc. was shit. That's why Cabrutus created the Sweet Baby Inc. detector. And then Sweet Baby Inc. decided to attack Cabrutus and try to get his Steam account canceled. And that's when the shit just hit the fan. So, what happened with Cabrutus supercharged the already emergent effects of Sweet Baby Inc. on games. That just supercharged it, and now they cannot get on the spotlight, and it's been highlighted how they're destroying games more and more all the time. Yeah, that is where the general the Cabrutus incident is where most people, where a lot of people, where it got pushed to headline version news, and everybody knew about it. There was no escaping it. People that followed gaming news, even in a tertiary kind of way, had heard about this before then, back in 2023. But it wasn't until the Cabrutus incident that everybody suddenly knew about Sweet Baby Inc. And the Cabrutus incident, I think, was a year ago. I'm reasonably sure the thing with Cabrutus is at least a year old. I don't remember exactly when that happened, but I'm pretty sure it's at least a year old.
Innocent people at Sweet Baby. I swear we will never see a single person from Sweet Baby or in the games journalism traditional sources ever acknowledge why the criticism against Sweet Baby started. And we all know the real reason. It began with a Sweet Baby Inc. employee, Chris Kindred, starting a harassment and false report campaign against Cabrutus, the creator.
Ryan, they created their own Streisand effect. They did. I know, Heleven. It's fine. You're cool. Yeah, Ryan, they created their own Streisand effect. They didn't fall victim to it. They had this motherfucker tweeting the fuck out of trying to get Cabrutus kicked off Steam. So they created it themselves. Oh yeah, Hybo, yes. And Demion and Kirsche and Hirohei and all of those were, all of those kinds of content creators were talking about DEI before Cabrutus. Absolutely. But Cabrutus did the Sweet Baby Inc. detector. Chris Kindred of Sweet Baby Inc. decided to attack Sweet Baby Inc. detector, had the backing of Sweet Baby Inc., and that just basically shoved the existence of the company into the limelight. And they're never going to be able to hide again.
Of Sweet Baby Inc. detected, which of course would blow up as a result of this. This is not acknowledged by any of the woke journalists, and it's not acknowledged by anyone apparently at Sweet Baby either.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, it continues on to say, a targeted hate campaign against the company, which often leads to harassment and abuse of its employees, paints Sweet Baby Inc. out to be many things.
So apparently, calling people out on their bullshit, when the employees are calling anybody that does not agree with their train of thought cultists, racists, misogynists, bigots, etc., is harassment and abuse. Notice when the employees harass people because they just say, I didn't like this game. And the employees go, you're a racist because you didn't like this game. That's not abuse. Because they like to claim they're on the right side of history. But if you call us Sweet Baby Inc. and say, you people are assholes, you are ruining games, and it's all true. There's no fiction involved here. It's all true. It's harassment and abuse. We're just poor, innocent victims. And nobody believes it. And that's why every game this company touches dies. It's why every development team that they work with suddenly shuts down. And this ain't a fucking coincidence, people.
It's not. For one thing, it paints them as powerful when consultants have very little sway on what a final game looks like. The tamer detractors target the studio for offering consulting on diversity, equity, and inclusion to a number of AAA projects, while the worst are accusing the team of blackmailing game developers, forcing them to make games.
Because they did.
I'll return to this last section
they tried
in a
at least.
moment here, but yeah, they're trying to say on the one hand that they're very important, they do all these things, but they're also trying to say we don't do anything. So if you don't really have any sway or power or influence on these games, why is anyone hiring you? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, unless it's to check boxes or that you're lying and you actually have a much
well, that's it exactly. If Sweet Baby Inc. is claiming that they don't do any of the things that people are claiming that they do, why are companies hiring them? It makes no fucking sense. That means companies are literally pissing money away to quote unquote hire a company for PR for the PR points. This is what Sweet Baby Inc. is trying to claim. They're basically saying we don't actually do anything. We're kind of just getting hired on as a PR stunt. That is effectively what they're trying to claim. Bullshit. And we all know it. Hydrocell.
greater influence than you're trying to portray publicly. And now addressing this claim down here that basically this idea that they're putting any pressure onto these companies is ridiculous and they don't do anything like that. Well, if you look at the statements from its own CEO, this infamous clip, I mean, we literally played this yesterday to counter similar claims. This is a very obvious picture that they're trying to.
Oh, I like this here. Hello, gamer here. Your consultants are worthless parasites who only exist to fix a problem you yourselves created. No better than thugs running a protection racket. And I look forward to the day devs realize they don't need you and force you to get a real job. Hope this helps.
Portray here that you're supposed to put pressure on these companies to work with Sweet Baby and other woke consultation firms.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
I mean, what does that sound like? Does that sound like people trying to work with Sweet Baby completely on their own will, or do you think there's some sort of pressure,
it's fucking mafia
some sort
tactics.
of manipulation going on there? I mean, I think
again, this kind of is par for the course with all this DEI shit. They're the villains they're trying to twist it to make people think that villains are the heroes, so they will seem like they're heroes when they're doing villain shit. Let's be honest, they're basically pulling they're pulling mafia light tactics here. They are. Scare people into giving them what you want. They are the villains, which is why they try and make the villains look like the bad guys, they try and make the villains look like the good guys, and the good guys look like the bad guys, so they look like the good guys in the end, because they're the villains. That's why entertainment is on this massive push to make villains look like the misunderstood good guys. And the actual good guys are actually evil, you just didn't know it, but we're gonna prove it to you. Because that way, the villains behind the scenes can try and twist public perception and make it seem like they're actually the good guys. This has been what they've been doing for years. That's why we've had such a massive push of taking clearly evil characters and they've been trying to turn them into the misunderstood good guy. The Acolyte, yep, Brandon, the Acolyte's the perfect example. The Sith are and always have been evil. But because of DEI, they're like, oh no, evil can't be evil. They're just misunderstood good guys. Yeah, dear listener, you know they're misunderstood good guys, right? Because that's us. We're the misunderstood good guys. Fucking Leslie Headland said she identified as a Sith, for God's sake. In an interview, she literally said she identifies as a Sith. She identifies as an evil person. That's why they do what they do. To try and twist public perception so evil is not considered evil anymore. So the public won't look at her and actually consider her evil. That's what Sweet Baby Inc. is doing. They're doing the exact same fucking thing.
The fact that this comes from the CEO speaks volumes. But let's continue on with the article. So now they talk about misinformation. They're going after gamers and also YouTubers for spreading what they claim is misinformation. So beginning here, misinformation online is nothing new, particularly on YouTube and Twitter. With this in mind, Roberts feels
Twitter,
like
I'll
a
agree.
campaign like the one we're seeing now was inevitable. I think if it wasn't Sweet Baby that was the target of all this, then it would probably be someone else. And it has been other people who are not connected to Sweet Baby or not doing the same kind of work, because I think that it's part of this larger culture war that's happened that's never really gone away in the West, and it's in the East in some respects as well. So I think
No, because if this quote-unquote culture war was actually in the East, then why is Japanese anime and manga and video games fucking the ever-living fuck out of Western entertainment? The lie detector test determined, motherfucker, this was a lie. Western entertainment is shit. Eastern entertainment is leagues above anything the West is putting out right now. That doesn't happen if there's a culture war. So, Mr. Roberts, kindly go fuck yourself with this double standard bullshit.
I think it's very ironic that people like Grant and all these other people in the industry, and especially games journalists, constantly talk about the culture war and that these gamers are pushing for this culture war that began back in 2014 with the original Gamergate wave, when they don't even realize they are part of that culture war. They are the reason all of this is happening. They have gone unchecked for so many years to the point where developers and journalists, they feel completely comfortable and safe with their job to go out there and attack gamers.
I'm going to take a different tact on this. I think that they do know that they're part of the culture war. I do. I think that they fully think that they're part of the culture war, but they, for some reason, think that they're on the side of the angels. That's the difference. They think that they're on the side of righteousness of this culture war, and therefore they're above it all. That's my feeling. Is like they don't think that they're not involved in this. They 100% know that they are, but they think that they're so much better that they are elevated above it, and that they think they're, yes, Brandon, they think they're on the right side of history.
To disparage people based on the color of their skin or the fact that they're men and so on and so forth. They feel so comfortable and protected because of the culture war they have fostered that they can say those things. And now in 2024, especially given the connection to Sweet Baby and the snowball effect that started, people are finally calling out this stuff and saying enough is enough. And we're seeing companies like Sweet Baby and all these woke games struggle because people are putting their foot down finally. And that is all part of the same culture war that these people act like they're not a part of, but they're the ones who are exacerbating things and making it worse. But anyways, they go on to say, back then 10 years ago, referring to the original Gamergate, people were making their name based on being attached to Gamergate. So that part of it hasn't changed, but it certainly does seem to be a lot easier now. Many are making careers off the back of hate against Sweet Baby. It would be a lot for anyone to handle.
Wait. Who has been making a career off the back of hate against Sweet Baby? I mean, I suppose maybe you could argue content creators on YouTube. But who is making a career off of Sweet Baby Inc. hate? I have not heard of any companies, any consulting companies or anything out there that are making the claim of, we're the anti-Sweet Baby Inc., please hire us. Yeah, you have content creators, but no content creator that I'm aware of solely has made their career off of Sweet Baby Inc. Rev sure hasn't. Rev talks about Sweet Baby Inc., absolutely, but Rev has not made his career off of hating Sweet Baby Inc. That's not what has made his career. No content creator has made their career based solely off of hatred for Sweet Baby Inc. So again, this is projection. This is saying we're the poor, helpless victims here. Pity us, and no one's buying it.
Let alone a company of just 16 employees. But Robert says they've responded by just getting back to work. Yeah, they're just getting back to work as he sits down for an interview, trying to tell you over and over again, we're not angry. We're not being influenced anyway. We're just getting back to work. I mean, him.
The lady doth protest too much. And yes, I am calling him a lady. That is intentional.
And the CEO and other employees, they've gone on literally a press tour the last couple of months, trying to say how
Hero High
unbothered
branches
they are
off
by
more
all
than
this
Sweet
stuff,
Baby
and
Inc.,
that they are
Alex.
just a narrative consultation firm, and that all these claims about a DEI-related agenda is crazy. And on top of that, you can see the shade being thrown at YouTubers. They don't like being covered. Well, if you don't like being covered, stop making bad games, and also stop having your employees, including all the way up to your CEO, come out and say ridiculous stuff on the regular.
Yeah.
You are providing free content to people. I guess in that sort of way, it is easier because
okay,
people
Alex,
like Grant, people like Kim, they can't stop talking. They constantly come out with interviews and bad tweets, and they ignore things that they should be concerned about, like their employees acting like psychopaths, as we've covered in many different videos. Yeah. They ignore all those things and try to basically put their head down and keep going, but at the same time, they keep yapping and making it worse for themselves. And they can be mad as they want to be, but people have a right to cover what they're doing. And it's obviously very important to people, especially gamers, to understand what's going on with Sweet Baby and anything like them, because it influences the games that they're a part of, and people want to know about these connections. Now, of course, we've seen a similar thing happen with Kim here, and I just want to share this image again. This is from a little TED Talk where she showed this screenshot compilation, including with one of my videos here, of people criticizing Sweet Baby. Now, the irony of this, of course, is that Kim didn't even create this image. In fact, it was created by a different content creator who made this compilation of images to show how much criticism the company is rightfully receiving. But the irony of that is not lost on me. And also, one final point, too, about this whole claim that, you know, riding on the backs of the industry. This is a company with employees right now who are trying to convince you at the same time they're worth hiring and they're super important and valuable, but they're also barely affecting the games at all, and also that their word doesn't really carry a lot of weight in the process of creating.
Yeah, this is a company literally talking about both sides of their mouth. We're just a simple country consulting firm. We don't actually affect the games, but at the same time, we're gonna make mafia-style threats to change the game the way we say fit. It's they're 100% just out of both sides of the mouth. They're full of shit. It's gonna be so much fun when game companies stop hiring them and they go under.
Creating stories and games generally, which is very ironic because in your own sense, if you're not that big of an impact, aren't you riding on the coattails of the success of these studios that are hiring you as well?
Aren't you scamming? It's not even aren't you riding on the coattails if you're not actually doing anything. The question then is, if you're not doing this, what are you doing? Because now you're just a scam where you're selling services that apparently don't even exist. You're making money off of these companies and you're not even, in your words, you're not doing anything. So why does your company exist in the first place if you don't do anything?
Only thing going on with Sweet Baby, this headline from That Park Place reading, the Powell Group deletes its associations with Sweet Baby Inc. from LinkedIn and its website. So this is the main post people were looking at with the Powell Group here. So they say this: we believe you need diverse voices to solve diverse problems. Together with our partners at Sweet Baby Inc., we provide sensitivity and authenticity consulting at every stage of development. We connect you to an inclusive and knowledgeable team of consultants to best bring your story to life. Our approach leads with the creation of joyful and authentic experiences. We seek to be additive, not just corrective. Reach a bigger audience is one of the goals. We believe that representation is key.
By the way, does anybody, I have no idea who this Powell Group is. Does anybody know who this is? My guess is they are another consulting firm of some sort, because this feels like consulting firm advertisement here. Is that who the Powell Group is? They're merging with SBI. Oh, so that's why they took their name off, is because they're folding SBI into it. It, let's be honest, this isn't any better when they have this line. We provide sensitivity and authenticity consulting. We believe that representation is the key, with more inclusive storytelling. I think this is an old one because they actually, I think this is, granted, this 1 week does not necessarily have a date. This 1 week could have been like a couple months ago, for all we know. This all speaks of Sweet Baby Inc. It's going good, Pepper Shark. Well, exactly, Alex. This is all Sweet Baby Inc. talk. So, this Powell Group, if Sweet Baby Inc. was not folded into them already, is just as bad. This is just as bad of a company as Sweet Baby Inc. And the Powell Group just put themselves on the fucking radar. They put themselves on the same scope that Sweet Baby Inc. has bought fucking real estate on.
To connecting players and audiences, appeal to a wider reach of players with more inclusive storytelling. Tell new stories. We tackle narrative and character in any form, keeping emotional resonance and authenticity at the heart of our work. Represent empathetically. We seek to spark joy in marginalized players, elevate real human experiences, and foster empathy within your game. Yeah, does this sound like a apolitical narrative consultation firm who has no interest in pushing
it's another Sweet Baby Inc.
Yeah, this alone, this connection to this Powell Group, completely dismantles everything that Grant and Kim have been trying to convince you, which, again, nobody's surprised by that, but it would go on further with this post here saying, we believe you need diverse voices to solve diverse problems. And again, giving their little mission statement, but all of these things would be deleted. So you had different YouTubers like Master of the TDS as well as Vera Dark pointing out this connection about a week ago. And since then, all of these posts have been taken down. They are sweeping everything under the rug because this Powell Group and Sweet Baby know that this connection is a horrible PR for them. And once again,
okay, so Sweet Baby is still a part of this Powell Group. They're just trying to hide it, like Sweet Baby Inc. is trying to hide their involvement in stuff on their new website. So, again, the Powell Group has now put themselves on the radar of every content creator that's been following the likes of Sweet Baby Inc. How long do you think it's going to be before there is a Powell Group detected group, like the Sweet Baby Inc. detected group that Cabertas came up with? Now that this name of this company is, now that the name of the Powell Group is basically been brought into the spotlight, how long do you think it's going to be before more stories come about, a Powell Group detected group comes about? Yeah, all they did by making this announcement is they just fucked themselves. Yeah, right, Bess, that's right. He changed to DEI detected, that's right. Yeah, because there's more than just Sweet Baby Inc. There's the Powell Group and God knows who else.
Reinforces everything that people have been saying about them since they were largely discovered earlier this year, that they are a consulting firm pushing their own DEI-related agenda onto these games and companies they're working with, and no attempt at a public rebrand is going to erase that memory from people, especially when you get caught red-handed like this. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah. It's kind of about what I thought. And this is what's going to end Sweet Baby Inc. the Powell Group. This is what will end them. When companies stop hiring them. Because these companies realize if we bring these people in, our game is fucked. That's what's gonna happen. Is when game development companies finally realize Sweet Baby Inc., Powell Group, all of these DEI and bridge companies are literal poison that will kill their companies, they will stop hiring them. And they can, Sweet Baby Inc. and all of them can try and blackmail as much as they want. There's evidence of what happens when you tell Sweet Baby Inc. to go fuck themselves. Your game is a runaway success. The proof is already there. And I think we are going to start seeing more and more of these game dev companies tell Sweet Baby Inc. to kindly go fuck yourself.